First of all, I want to say how happy I am to have the visit of my colleague and friend, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Slovenia. It is very, very important. Of course, we have already been working a lot. First of all, preparing the trio of our presidencies together with Germany, and then the trio program, and now preparing the Portuguese presidency that will be followed by the Slovenia presidency. We inaugurated the formula of trio of presidencies in the European Union in 2007-2008. This is the second time we shall have this trio, and the programs, the approaches are very similar, very coherent, and this, no doubt, will be a very important 1 year and a half for European integration. Of course, we exchanged views on the priorities of the Portuguese presidency. As you already know, the social Europe will be at the focus of our presidency, because we think that if we reinforce the European social model, we will be able to make successfully the digital and the climate transition. In terms of our bilateral relations, they are excellent. We are countries very aligned in terms of international relations, in terms of our view and our participation on the process of European integration. And we are also concerned with the Mediterranean region, to which both we belong. And of course, we exchange also views on the international relations at large. I think it was a very productive meeting. That is an anticipation of my visit to Slovenia, and also of the visit of the President of the Republic that was convened to 2021. The COVID had obliged us to postpone it, but it will happen as soon as it will be possible. Please, Hans.
Muito obrigado, Augusto. Sou muito feliz de estar aqui in Lisboa. It was an excellent meeting today. Slovenia and Portugal are two countries in trio presidency for the second time. We did perform very well in year 2007-2008, and I have no doubt that Portugal will excellently chair over the EU and took the helm of the EU to Slovenia to continue this work. Today we discuss mainly on two issues, bilateral issue and as well the issue concerned with our presidency program. It's been 13 years from the last official bilateral visit of foreign ministers, so we both agreed that we should speed up this tempo in order to have, much frequent contact in each other, as we are all the same in the European Union and there are very important tasks ahead of us. Regarding the presidency program, we both happily witnessed that our programs are very, very aligned, with more or less same priorities, with a few fine-tunings, and that are as well related to our geostrategical position. Slovenia more oriented in the Central Europe, and as well on the Balkan state, which is one of our priority, and as well with the same agenda for the topics that are most important ahead of us. One of this issue is a new migrant and asylum package that the European Commission presented, and the second very important issue is, it is important now, it's to finally get an agreement, intra-institutional and as well of the Council, on the finalization of multi-annual financial framework and recovery package. We discussed the situation regarding COVID, the measures that both countries had taken and how to tackle this important issue. We as well touched about the relation of European Union to China and to other superpowers. We exchanged our views, and I look forward for further cooperation with you and as well with the Portuguese presidency. We agreed that our staff will thoroughly cooperate in preparation of and finalization of the presidency.
Boa tarde, Levi Fernandes, agência France Press. Ontem a Alemanha fez uma proposta, vai propor o acesso aos Estados-membros, às verbas comunitárias e ao plano do Fundo de Recuperação e deseja que seja condicionado ao respeito pelo Estado de Direito. Não sei se ouviram essa proposta ou o que é que pensam. Gostava de obter uma reação.
He's asking on
the rule of law. Germany presented it.
Minister understands Portuguese.
Yes. But I let you to comment first.
The Slovenian minister is proof of the excellency of the higher education in Portugal because he spent 1 month in an intensive course in the University of Coimbra. As you can see, he understands Portuguese and speaks a little Portuguese. Well, I think this proposal of Germany is a step forward, and I think that we have to consider very attentively the terms of this proposal. Time is of essence in what regards the implementation of the next MFF and the implementation of the recovery fund. There was a very important and difficult discussion and then agreement in the European Council in July. And leaders reached an agreement after 4 consecutive days of working, 5 consecutive nights of working. And this agreement is a very balanced one, but it is a balance that we have to respect because it is not envisageable any other better solution we can agree upon. The European Parliament has already made its work in what regards the consultation of the European Parliament related to the own resources decision. We now need the approval by the European Parliament of the MFF, the Multi-Annual Financial Framework, and we need the ratification by the 27 member states of our decisions concerning the recovery fund. You know, the Portuguese position is very clear. For us, the rule of law is at the core of our common belonging to the European Union. It's a sine qua non condition to belong to the European Union, the full respect for the rule of law, meaning democratic pluralism, freedom of press, independence of judiciary, and other basic fundamentals of any democracy. So, for us, the discussion we have on the rule of law is a discussion on the very foundations of our European Union, and of course, we cannot admit that any member state cannot abide by these fundamentals. But this is not a dimension of our financial debate. This is a debate on its own, a debate on the core of our union. So we think that the agreement that the European leaders reach in July has the necessary sentences, has the necessary commitments in terms of the rule of law. It is very clear in saying that the money that will be provided, allocated to the different member states has to be spent in full accordance with the constitutional terms and preventing any form of corruption and other misleadings. So we have now to translate this agreement into our regulations and other terms of reference, but we cannot confuse the decision we are taking in terms of our financial resources for the next 7 years and the additional financial resources we are mobilizing to combat the crisis and to boost the recovery of the economy, of the European economy. We cannot confuse this discussion with the other general, very important discussion on the rule of law. On the rule of law, we are expecting, I think for tomorrow, the issue of the first report by the European Commission will provide a general review on the rule of law on each of our states, and then we shall begin a process by which there will be a peer review of the first 5 member states, then already in the Portuguese presidency of a second group of other 5 states, then in the Slovenian presidency another 5 states group, in order that we can have a mechanism of peer review in terms of rule of law that can complement the provisions of the Lisbon Treaty and the mechanism already previewed in the Lisbon Treaty. So to summarize, my answer to your question is yes, we consider very positive this proposal of the German presidency in order to set up a compromise that can deblock, if you can say so, that can allow us to go further in the process of ratification of the decisions that were taken by the leaders in July. And we think that the debate on the rule of law is at the core of our European values, and it values in itself, and it cannot be treated as a dimension of the financial decisions and of the financial allocations and means. It was very long, sorry.
Slovenia was heavily hit by pandemic crisis in its consequences on the economy. I guess the same was with Portugal, the same was with many other states. That's why this was one of the reasons why we signed the letter of more or less Mediterranean states to call for new mechanism to tackle the crisis, so-called Corona bonds, that at the end change into the so-called Recovery Institute, more or less the same, let's say, idea behind that. And we all think and we all know that we have a very short time frame where the finalization of agreement should be approved. As from 1st of January 2021, our economies need this financial assistance. Otherwise, the consequences on our economy will be devastating. So all who are dealing with the issue should bear this in mind, and should bear as well, Augusto explicitly said, the decision that was taken by 5 heavy days of negotiation from heads of state, and I'm fully confident that all institutions that interact in this process will find the compromise in order to get the deal on the table, and it will be able to, let's say, implement and use all the funds that are available for us. Rule of law is extremely important question. That's why we put it in our presidency program, one of the 4 priorities. But this is the question that is work in progress. That it's something we strive for, we are defending and we're fighting for, and it's adoption of all these necessary measures that can bring us to the perfectly functioning rule of law in each member state. So we see this as a long-term project. That's why we support this peer review of the European Commission. We see this latest proposal as as the first proposal, and by time to time, from presidency to presidency, from report to report, we expect enhancing this mechanism in order to give member state a benchmark to fulfill and to strive in adopting the completely functioning rule of law.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.